It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
That's right, and we are live at Circa, Las Vegas for the Ultimate Contest weekend. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. He's Jason Minix.
And we are joined by Mike Palm, Vice President of Operations here at Circa, Las Vegas. It's been a whirlwind for you guys. You just opened up a new casino in Kentucky that looks just like this one.
First of all, are they going to stop playing in the hemisphere? What's going on? What did the county?
Dude.
What did they approve?
Man,
Spurs are trying to get a new arena built, and well, you know, as all towns kind of do, that there is some opposition to that. So
Public money, private money, all that stuff.
all that
You know,
stuff.
Kentucky was fantastic.
yeah, well, the Spurs
here
have
we go,
committed
here we
$2 billion to this project. And the taxes will be on tourism. You're in the hotel business. You know what hotel taxes are like. But you also probably know with all the different areas that is every state that is smart, not Texas, that is legalized gambling has done. But you know, you go into some places and probably have to deal with some opposition. What's it like on this side dealing with that crap?
Well, it's interesting because we're going to see right here in Las Vegas trying to get this stadium built for the A's, right? I mean, they did the groundbreaking and nothing's happened in 3 months. Wait, you know, and that's more share of public money than what this, you know, is going to happen in San Antonio, with the state of Nevada putting up $350 million for that project. Obviously, the owners of the A's are not coming up with $2 billion, or they'd have a palace in the Bay Area.
Yes.
No, it's you know, here's the most challenging part. The most challenging part is when they change the goalposts. You know, I gave my speech in Kentucky yesterday, and we had state assemblyman there, and the mayor, and the county judge, and the Chamber of Commerce, and I said, we wouldn't be able to make this kind of an investment in Franklin, Kentucky, unless we had favorable business conditions. Your neighbors to the north, in the state of Illinois, keep changing the goalposts, you know. The tax rate is 15%. I don't know, it's 40. Oh, and by the way, now you got to pay 50 cents every time you take a wager. I mean, it's that drives people out of the state, just like you see what happens in California. So you have to have the right business environment, and then people have to make a commitment to those businesses once they come in, that they're going to try to keep similar set of rules for a while at least.
And Mike, I've got to ask you, because it's sticking on the Spurs. Every time we have a fight like this in San Antonio, Las Vegas comes up. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the WNBA team was in San Antonio. Now it's here in Las Vegas. How do you think Las Vegas will get an NBA team? And do you think it would be a relocated team or a new franchise?
I think it'd be a new franchise. I'd put a number up. Will they play will the NBA team play their first game before the A's do? And I think you could make an argument either way. People wouldn't want to lock their money up for 3 years, because we're talking, 2028 for the A's. They're 3 years in Sacramento, which, by the way, we went up there for a game because we did the partnership and we got the big sign in the out and left field and all that. We left here, it was like 112 degrees, and we went up there, it was 84, right? And all the people that work for the A's still live in the Bay Area, and they drive down to Sacramento. They were dressed like they were on safari. The heat, we can't bear this far inland. I mean, it's just funny, right? I mean, to us, it was a really beautiful. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, the heat. I mean, I guess it's just what you're used to.
It's crazy.
Exactly.
See, and again, the Spurs, if they don't get the new arena business sense, other cities would flirt with them. I don't think it would be Vegas, because the expansion fee for the NBA would be so massive. I think Vegas gets a team, but an expansion team, but other cities could get a relocated team like a Nashville or a Seattle.
I don't think Vegas wants. I mean, the WNBA is there. It's not a major sport, and it's not a major sport because they make it not a major sport.
Yeah.
They don't want the guy to move them to Boston and sell out the arena. I mean, it's just so dumb. But anyway, we could go on for 4 hours about the WNBA. When you look at the difference between the Golden Knights and the Raiders, I mean, it couldn't be more stark. This community support for one and not the other.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the Raiders games are a little bit like the Rams games. You're going to see the opposing jerseys more often than you see the home jersey. That's what you're selling here. And you could say that about some Knights games, but that's when the team comes east for one. The Rangers are here once a year. Yeah, all the Ranger fans are going to be. But by and large, it's 80% Knights fans there, and the community embraces them because it's their own, right? Born and raised is the phrase here. So I think Las Vegas much prefers to have an original team here than to take a transplant. WNBA is a little bit different. Aces have had great success here. Mm-hmm. They sell out those 9,900 seats. They got table. They do a great job with it. And, it didn't hurt that they won a couple championships too. Rough going early this year, but they've now been playing great here recently. And as much as I was saying Becky Hammond's trying to get fired after not getting the Spurs job, she was ripping the team every time they lost a game. They've played very well their last 10 or 12 games.
Mike Palm joining us here on At the Blitz. You talk about the Raiders and the fans that come to one, it's Vegas. It's a destination stadium. Like Jerry World is a destination stadium. People say, "Oh man, we took over Jerry World." No, that's every Sunday there because people will sell their tickets. What is it going to be like when the Dallas Cowboys come to play the Raiders on Monday Night Football in November?
Well, it's great. It was just like when the Packers came and played on a Monday night because you get another extra day with all those fans, right? We did these huddle ups on Friday nights before the Sunday games at Allegiant. And, the Falcons are tougher,
Yeah.
The further you go, the tougher it is. But the Bears will be tremendous. The Cowboys are going to be, the Vikings were tremendous, right? The Browns were great. And, these people love, what an excuse to come to Vegas to say your favorite team play. I mean, when you look at the road schedule,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Well, you want to go to Detroit or you want to go to Las Vegas, right? So, it's a great excuse to come here.
Yeah, no doubt. And we're looking forward to that. Obviously, having the Cowboys here, and just talk about the Cowboys because we're looking at the futures, and the Cowboys. We find it kind of disrespectful, Mike, because 8.5 is the number for total wins. Everybody thinks the Cowboys, including Troy Aikman, said that he thinks they're going to be better than people think. How do you guys like you come up with numbers like that?
Well, the key thing is not just to post. The more important thing is moving the number based on the action. You can hang a number, but you gotta move it. You gotta know what kind of a bet you want to take, and you gotta know when to move it. It's more about who you're taking the bet from than actually the amount of money that's being bet. And just to give you guys a little sign of hope, but we've had a couple sharp guys betting the Cowboys to win the NFC East.
Really?
Actually, there's been some action there. Not a lot on the win total, not a lot on the over the wins, a little bit more on the under 8.5 than over, but there has been some pro guys that have taken a shot on the Cowboys to win the East, and their odds have come down in the last 6 weeks or so.
Is that because it's seems to be a rule that you can't have back-to-back NFC East winners?
Since the McNabb 4 years, right? That anybody repeated.
Yeah.
And then Washington, how good are they going to be? Or will they, all those one-score wins that they had last year, will they actually regress? Is that what the Sharps are saying?
That's a very powerful correlation, though, between the one-score wins and the turnover margin and the luck you get one year. It happened for the Vikings, right? If it turned the other way and then they rebounded. That's what I say about the University of Illinois in football. They had every break in the world and won all those one-score games. I think there's regression the other way as you come into a new season, and you never know. You figure the Giants are not going to be a factor, right?
Right.
Philadelphia seems awful tough to me, though. I have a hard time believing that they're not going to be right there at the end. But they're a very good organization. I mean, they've got a very good front office. I don't like Sirianni as a person. I think he's a decent head coach, though. And let's face it, I mean, that team was really good at the end of the year. That the Rams are really the only team that gave them a game in the whole playoffs, right?
Yeah.
The Packers
should have won.
The Packers was a totally one-sided game. The Commanders was one-sided. They should have beat the Chiefs by 50 in the Super Bowl. I mean, they had the potential for that. Only one team even really pressed them at the end of the year. And you go back and you look, I mean, they had a dominating season all along. So I think you have to start in the NFC with the Eagles and then go from there.
Mike, how are the numbers? How do they move when you got a Micah Parsons holdout for the Cowboys? You got a Terry McLaurin holdout for the Commanders. Does that make a big difference?
When guys are under contract, they don't get to decide where they go. And I think as bookmakers, we believe that. Just like Antetokounmpo in Milwaukee. Well, what'll be his next team? He's under contract. He has no choice. He's under aren't these contracts enforceable? So I don't think you really take it seriously, right? And I mean, we've heard the stories of what's been offered for him. I don't know if they're true or not, right?
Yeah.
The Jones family won't, they want to say that you turned down 2 first round, 2 second, and all. That seems almost unbelievable that you would do that. But no, it really doesn't. We're not really factoring. Well, maybe he's not going to play for the Cubs. No, you're assuming he is.
Okay. And you go there. Is there somewhere prop about what day Micah will sign? We know he will.
We
It's
haven't
just a matter of when.
we haven't. Maybe
just the guys around the coffee machine. Do you just got
if you had legal betting in Texas, that would be something people would hang because there'd be a lot of local interest.
Yeah,
in it, right?
If we had, are we any closer?
I don't know. Not from our end that we're hearing.
Son of a.
All of a sudden we pop up in Missouri. We're probably going to be in Arizona. They're working on Michigan. And there it sits with Texas. The Blues have been, really good friends with ours, and if we didn't get that untethered license in Missouri, probably we would have partnered with the Blues. Nashville sits right there, 45 minutes. We could have done the Predators. We've already got the Blackhawks. We were talking to the Stars in Texas.
Yep.
If things would have aligned, we could rename the NHL Central the NHL Circa.
Yes.
We had 4 of the teams out of that division that we sponsored.
Well, hopefully it will happen in our lifetime, at least at some point in time. We'll get it done. I think it will get done. Talking about gambling, this Ultimate Contest weekend, Mike, is really become something huge. You guys got to be very proud of this. And I see these guys walking around with their blue jackets on.
Yeah, those are the past champs.
Yeah.
Right. Those are guys that have won it before. In fact, we have a dinner tonight at Andiamo, 5:00. It's called the Champions Dinner. It's become a tradition.
It's like the Masters dinner.
Yeah.
Right?
Almost like the Masters.
Yeah.
Different colored. We got blue jackets. They got. I
see.
did a spoof of the Masters the first year with the guy who won.
Uh-huh.
He comes every year still. He's from L.A. Jewish guy. Isaac. We did a spoof with him like it was on the Masters set, and we did a wrap up of it, right? At the end, and I hosted it. He was there with his proxy and Derek and doing the whole thing. Derek put the jacket on him, and then at the end, and I said, stay tuned for 60 minutes, except on the West Coast, followed by murder.
Nice.
She wrote.
Wow.
It was
Nice.
I see those guys walking around, and I know they're picking up the tab at the bar. Circa Million, Circa Survivor. I've already signed up for a Circa Million this year. I hope to do better than I did last year. Last year, towards the end, I was just trying to get the booby price because you do offer $100,000 for that.
You got a shot at it, right?
Yeah, well,
Right.
I mean, at what point? Week 17, you decided to go for it?
No, it was like week 13.
It's interesting, though. The guy that starts off with 3 bad weeks, do you just say, screw it, I'm going to go for the season long? Or, the worst is 2 and 3.
Yeah.
The 2 and 3 is the death week because it's nowhere, it kills you for the quarter because you probably can't afford any 3 lost weeks and it really screws you for the 2 wins for the bottom. You do get 126 ways to win, right? And so you're spending $1,000 for 5 months of entertainment. Hell, we're going to spend more than on coffee in the next 5 months than that, right? So, I mean, it's good. Survivor's a totally different thing, right? I mean, you could be out in week 1, but boy, if you can catch the sizz and make a run, it's certainly a high, right? It's certainly an adrenaline rushing.
When you look at a Survivor, Mike, it's like, this is going to be easy, man. I just picked the best team. And it's a lot harder than people think.
So simple, right?
Yeah.
1 team each week.
That's
all.
it.
No point spread.
Nope.
It's so very simple. And that's why people come back the next year because they said, they ain't going to do it to me again. And the Bengals do it to everybody. Before that, the Colts were getting beat by the Jaguars in week 1. And you have chaos in September much more so than later in the year because you don't know teams in September. We're just guessing what they're going to play like.
Right.
There's new coordinators. There's new head coaches. There's new parts to their lines. The draft picks are being worked in. That's the time of least certainty when you're trying to handicap.
Always
Fun.
a lot of fun. The Ultimate Contest weekend and the Ultimate in-season weekend is going to be that Cowboys-Raiders Monday night game. Mike Palm, know you're busy. Appreciate you spending some time with us. You got to go to that fancy dinner here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Pretty soon. And then will you guys be at Bar Canada later?
Yeah,
in the night?
absolutely.
All right, we'll see you over at Bar
Absolutely.
Canada.
Yes.
Absolutely. Mike Palm, Vice President of Operations for Circa Las Vegas, joining us here on The Blitz.